Is going to be to hang the hinge side. We're going to set the holes. Now, one thing we did do at the store is pilot all the holes so that way we can do this nice and quickly in the time allotted to us. Like I said, you don't have to cut these anymore. The Z-bars come with a little boot at the bottom. This is tapered to adjust to the threshold of the actual door. So instead of sitting there with a hacksaw trying to cut an angle on a piece of aluminum, this, once we put that up there, it's going to slide right down. The angle at the bottom is going to match right up to that threshold. And basically what it is, you set the first 4 holes there. They almost look like a goldfish. We're going to set the first 4 holes on it, slide it back off, and attach it right to the door. Right here, if you take a look, you can see there's actually a groove right here. That hinge is going to snap into there. You run the first screw into it, and it's going to screw all the way down and across. These doors can be handed either left or right. There's a spot on either side for the hardware to go in. You can see right here. So if we were going to hang this as a left-hand door, we just put the handle sets onto this side. Right now, like I said, they're setting the hinge. And the factory has the first hole actually drilled into there. Now, if you're doing this at home, you want to pre-drill the rest of the holes so that the screw will go in nice and easy. And Matt today is using a DeWalt gyroscopic screwdriver. It's probably the slickest little thing. Everybody knows with their cell phones, you turn it, the display rotates. As he turns his wrists, it does the same thing. It uses a little gyroscope in there. It also has an accelerometer. So depending on how far he turns his hand, that's how fast it's going to spin. And he's been walking around for about 3 days with this thing, playing with it throughout the store.
We have a question from the group.
Yeah, what's up?
He has a question for you.
What's up?
What is an accelerometer?
Accelerometer? It's when we get back to the store, I'll explain it completely to you, but real quickly, it's just, it tells the amount of force as it's being moved to the left or the right. On your cell phone, some phone games, like Shake the Monkey games, depending on how fast you shake it, the accelerometer is going to translate that into force. This is going to translate it into torque, my friend.
What Shake the Monkey?
What a wonderful question.
Thank you so much, sir. One of the things that really sets these doors apart from other storm doors, you can see there's no screen right here. There's nothing to adapt. You don't have to pop anything out, no little tabs to push in. There is just one little switch, and it rolls down just like that. Just this little piece right here. And when you want it closed, slide it back up and it automatically latches in place. Nice thing with these, I'm sure everybody's done that where the storm door starts to close, you put your elbow out, hip out, catch it, and it ends up ripping. With these, because there's a cartridge in here and it rolls, somebody pushes on it, the screen's going to have some give to it. Reduces the chances of it ripping. If it was to rip, there's 2 screws on this. You unscrew that, remove this plastic piece. There's a cartridge that slides into place and it feeds right into this part here. Snap it back together, all done. Now they've set it to the first 4 screws. They're going to tighten it up real quick. That's going to set the guide for the rest of it. There's 4 more screws to the inside of it, and then there's some screws for the outside. One thing you want to do as you're hanging storm doors, make sure it is level. You're going to see that they're going to use one of our Lowe's levels to make sure that the door is sitting right. Reason for this, if it's sitting at an angle, it's not going to operate properly. Door goes to close, it'll stop before it hits the actual strike, and that's where you have the wind come, catch it, and snap it out. One of the nice things that we do at Lowe's also is we install these. If you you don't have the time, don't have the tools, and we're talking about $200 worth of tools alone here to hang a storm door like this, Lowe's will come out, we'll do the measurements, figure out exactly what size storm door you need, figure out if there's any kind of work. A lot of houses around here, especially if you have brick work around your door, a brick capture, the brick mold's not going to be square and flat like this. Usually at that point we have to adjust the opening so that the door will sit properly. We let you know everything before we do the work. That way there's no surprises. Another nice thing about it is it has 1 year worth of warranty on the workmanship. If they did something where they hung it wrong, they are responsible for it. We also, of course, take care of the warranty work on the doors themselves. Now that they have the door attached to the hinge, they're hanging the door to the brick mold. The next step is going to be for the top part. Again, it has that weather stripping right here. That's going to match up to the weather stripping on the door. Give you that nice tight fit. Going to keep the air from coming through.
If you're just coming in, welcome to the Erie Home and Garden Expo. You're just in time to see a demonstration of how to install a screen door and replace a damaged screen presented by the Lowe's team. It's happening right now at the do-it-yourself home clinic stage.
And if you got any other questions, we're all done. That was it. Now they're going to hang that up real quick. While they're doing that, I wanted to kind of go over how to do the handle set. As I said, there's an opening on either side of these doors here. They can be handed either which way, and the only real work you have to do is prep the holes for the handle sets. They come with a nice little template just like this. Put the template locator in there. And you can see that's showing me exactly where I'm going to drill. You're going to use a 1/2 inch and a 3/4 spade bit right through there. You want to pile it with a 1/8 bit drill bit to make sure that it's all set, then run that through. Do not try to go all the way through, okay? That's a mistake some people make. They'll try to do it, spade bit goes a little bit cockeyed, hole goes that way. Now they include a little red tool, and it'll actually sit inside that hole once you have it there, and you can run that drill bit through. That way it'll make sure it's straight and true all the way through. Come back around with the spade bit, punch those holes out, everything's perfectly lined up. Slide the mortise kit into there, put the handles on, and that part's all done. Speaking of all done, you can see they got that top drip cap on. Now they're putting the strike side up. And you can see this has gone very smoothly. Even though we piloted the holes, that's only so that we didn't have to bring another tool up and take a step. This is basically put it right up against the brick mold, make sure it's level. Hang to one side and then everything kind of falls into place. This one has less screws, it's only going to be the face screws here on the brick mold. And if the front of your house rocks back and forth like that when you're hanging a storm door, you have some real problems you should come in and talk to us about. Once we're done with this, we're going to have just about 2 steps left. One of the things I wanted to show you on this is it's a easy stop closer. We all remember the old storm doors, you push them open and then you get that little metal thing, and after 2-3 years you put a penny there because it's no longer holding it. This uses 2 closures, one at the top and one at the bottom. This is the one that's going to be at the bottom. When you do it, open the door up, step on this, and that's going to lock it into place. Then when you want it to close, now this is where I've had the most questions and customer complaints, people calling me up saying it's broken. You don't step on this again, you don't try to mess with this, all you do is open the door about 1 inch and it'll automatically release it. So that's the easiest thing in the world. Do not sit there trying to step on it, push it, do any of that, just open the door a little bit. You won't believe how many phone calls we get about it. Right now they're doing it, again we did pre-hang the parts that this is going to hook up to. And all it is 2 little pins that drop in. Easiest way to do it on the back side, the adjustable side. Once you have it there, you can pull it out to the door itself and drop the pin in. Very, very simple process on this one. Also helps if you have somebody that's a lot taller than you that can reach it and see almost completely over. Now the pins are slightly different. For the back, it's a little bit thicker. The front ones are a little bit narrower. Now the next step, you can see everything looks a lot nicer with this put on there. There's a nice clean edge to it all the way around. You can see the door itself actually has an architectural touch to it. But we do have a bunch of screw heads sticking out, which are unsightly and kind of detract from the overall. While they're doing that, these little plastic strips are going to snap right over it. It's probably about the easiest step of the whole process. Push it in about 3 inches below the top, slide it up a little bit, and then snap it all the way down. And the one thing he's doing here real quickly is adjusting the cylinder. That's just going to change how quickly it closes. You don't want the door slamming. You also want it kind of sliding to a nice close and pulling itself closed the last step. And when you adjust this, it's just a small quarter turn at a time. Don't take a drill and try to spin it all the way through. You can see Matt's just snapping it in with his fingertips. The one thing we didn't show you on that door, I'm going to show you real quick on this. The side that you don't put the mortise into, it comes with a nice little cover so that way you don't have this rough metal edge here. 2 screws, and it just goes in right like this. Not going to do it because Matt won't let anybody touch that tool. So now we've got pretty much all the caps in place. If you don't have a super tall front step ladder chair or anything like that to get above it, last step is going to be to adjust the boot that we talked about. This little piece right here. And then the door is good to go. You guys got any questions on these? That was the easiest thing ever. The one other thing too, let's say you have you want to match your door to the house. We do carry a couple different colors in stock, white and almond. If you need to, we can order you cranberry, hunter green, black, what they call earth tone brown, and sandstone. So we've got a door that'll match just about anybody's siding or front door, and we have a bunch of people that are able to help you out with choosing the right product. That's it. Thank you guys very much for coming.
Screen repair.